Hi YouTube, Mochismo Eugene. Welcome to another video from Exit Strategy. Please like, subscribe, share the video, give a thumbs up if you found it helpful, pass it on if you believe someone else would benefit from it. I would appreciate that. Now, you and I both knew before we knew the individuals were a narcissist. We knew that they were no damn good. We knew. Let's be honest, we knew. When you meet them, they come across as unassuming and go from 0 to 60 in a week or two, maybe a few months. But most often it is very accelerated in their authentic self, if you will, because when you meet them, they're anything but authentic. But once they gain traction, they gain a leg up on you, they get in that situationship with you, you have noticed that things went south real quick. Most often it was shortly after you had been intimate with them, you had gotten into the love, you had gotten past that love bomb phase, you had gotten to the point where this is where they get you at too. When you meet them, you notice they want you to meet their family very quickly. I mean, the same day you meet them, sometimes they want you to meet their family. And a lot of times they won't say, I want you to meet my family. They'll pretty much drive you to their family's house. You'd be like, where we at? Be like, oh, just my mom and dad house. It's like, oh, and you don't want to say, I didn't know he was going to bring me over here. So you go along to get along. We know how that goes, right? Now, looking back at that, you say, wow, this person lured or kidnapped me and took me over here forcibly against my will or against my consent. And, you know, we pushing up in mom and daddy house. They're like, hey, how y'all doing? And you notice the parents never ask you. Well, sometimes they will, but they greet you like they've known you all their life. And it's like, hey, how y'all doing? Because they're accustomed to her bringing or him bringing different guys and different girls on a regular. And so for the family of the narcissist who know how everybody's wired and how everybody's moving, they're all in the same game. So that's supply and that's energy for them. And so back to what I'm trying to say is we knew they were no damn good because shortly after this relationship culminates and they get traction, you'll notice certain things that they do are contrary to what they alleged before, a week before, or they will give these habits that they'll have. They'll just come out of nowhere and you'll be like, man, I can't believe they haven't showered all day long and they're just sitting around. It could be something hygienically. It could be a habit of just excessively burping. They get very accustomed to you once they know they got you. They don't have any modesty anymore. All of what you saw when you met them, it was an orchestrated skit. Put it this way, they were auditioning for a role in your life. And when they got the role, they went totally away from the script. You're directing. You thought. They're the director, the actor, producer, sound man, sound woman. They are running the whole show. And you're just a spectator. And you be like, wow, they're in your house, feet kicked up, like they are paying the mortgage. And there's nothing wrong with a person getting comfortable in your house if you and them are seeing each other. But what a narcissist will do, it will be it will be an insane intensity as to how they become comfortable in your house. It would almost border, it won't just almost border, it would resemble somebody not giving a damn about anything. or even having the audacity to get a consent. They'll go out with you and on the first date and come to your house and they'll rummage through your refrigerator. This has happened to me in the past. And, an empath, it rubs us the wrong way because we don't go to people's houses and go through their stuff like that so quickly after knowing them. Even 6 months down the line, we have a decency about ourselves. We will say, man, I'm thirsty, and give that person the option to say, well, okay, do you want me to get you something to drink? Or I got stuff in the refrigerator, take what you want. That's how people interact until time goes on, until you two get accustomed to one another. And it almost becomes second nature. Each other's, you can almost, it's an unspoken consent that you give each other because you've given them the green light that is okay. What is mine is yours, and what is yours is mine. What is mine is ours. But you don't sense that when you look back at this relationship before you realized they were a narcissist. You knew they were no damn good before you knew they were a narcissist. You take, she could work at a job and you meet her and you'll ask her what, if you're a guy, you say, what do you do for a living? Oh, I'm the manager at McDonald's. And I'll say, wow, it's cool. Maybe like, I made about $48,000 a year. And I'll say, okay, that's decent. And you say, okay, well, we can build off of that in your mind because you're thinking, okay, she's in a position of authority. She's managing people. So obviously she has her wits about herself for someone to put her in that capacity. This is how you're thinking. But everybody who's a manager is not fit to be managing a store. And McDonald's is no exception. And so you meet her. My nose is irritated, guys. Sorry. And so you meet her and she's giving you her little resume of sorts, like, yeah, I've been there 10 years. And you say, wow, she's been at the job 10 years. So that's consistency. So you're kind of like crossing this stuff off in your head. And this is before you even knew about narcissistic personality disorder. But now awakened, it doesn't matter. She could be the manager of New York City Bank and Trust. That doesn't mean anything. Kissed ass and brown nose their way to that position. A lot of people are in positions that shouldn't even be in them. And we know this impasse, but that's beside the point. So back to what I'm saying, after about a week, 2 weeks, maybe 3-4 weeks, a month, sometimes it varies. Bigger point is you'll notice a pattern after these 4 months have commenced. You're in the 4-month period. This relationship feels empty. It feels vacant. It feels eerie. This is before you knew about narcissistic personality disorder. And so now what you're realizing, being an empath like you are, we pay attention to things better late than never, right? We take people at face value, or we took things at face value, but it comes a point in an empath's life. There's a period in an interaction with an empath and another person where the empath will begin to critical think, because we're paying attention to things as we go about our life with this person or interact with this person, but we don't really give it a whole bunch of thought, but we have a total recall. And so something hits us in this 4-month period with this McDonald's manager. And so you're involved with her and you're thinking, every time she come home, she talking a mile a minute about not only the job, she's grumbling and griping about every single thing about the job. And you're saying she's a manager? All of this griping? Everything's a problem. And all you want is just a peaceable person in your life that has some peace about themselves. It's okay to talk about work. How was work? Oh, it was cool. Had a situation today, had a worker, gave me a little bit of a problem, but I took care of it, And then if they want to elaborate, you open the door and you say, hey, tell me a little bit more what happened, You okay? Oh, they cursed me out. I told them they had to come in on time and they can't clock out early, can't just leave without, clocking out. And they've done it 3 or 4 times. Whatever. That is something that normally is just small conversation. And that lasts for a few minutes and you and your mate go on about your life, because your job is not your life. Your job is a means to provide for your family. That's all a job is. Any of you empaths going to work thinking your job is anything but that, you're setting yourself up for a letdown. And I've said this many years ago, before I even knew about narcissistic personality disorder. I always was able to move about in a job. And that's probably the reason why I rub people the wrong way. I am not controlled. I can't be controlled. Not to say that I'm not subservient to my leaders and the people who are above me, because I am. But there's a certain persona about me that is not, it can't be contained. I'm not the robot that you're looking for. I have the humility to be obedient to those who are in authority. You can talk to me in ways that are a little more out of the ordinary or a little more abnormal than just say, if you got a problem, if I break a rule or if I break a policy, I got a thin skin. You can address that to me and I can own that. But a lot of times in the past, you cannot just, if I feel you're giving off your attitude because it's something within you that's not right, or you got personal issues, you're trying to berate me and use that as an excuse. That is a no-no. I don't tolerate that. But in a calm voice, I definitely make it known. I make it known because I'm not here to get in a jousting match, verbal jousting match with people who are in authority, because they can win. They win all the time. But you can state your facts, as empaths do. We write our line in the sand, and say, you can't speak to me any kind of way you want. I understand I did something wrong, but at the end of the day, I'm an adult. I'm a human being. You won't talk to me that way. And that's the way I've always been. But back to what I'm saying, they're talking about this job and they're always complaining. And you're saying to yourself, you the problem. It ain't the people or the things that are happening in your mind. And so this is when you're becoming aware that this person that you have invested these months with, thinking that you were going to grow with them, they're not even grown up. They have an adolescence that you can't put your finger on. This is pre-awakening. And that aided you into sitting back and giving some thought to some of the behavior. And I believe the narcissist realized or noticed, felt or sensed that you were coming to your senses. And so because you're at peace, they hate you, because you don't give off a lot of business or a lot of your business about work when you come home. You're babysitting them. And then you come to a point where you say, baby, the job is just a job. You home now. Don't worry about that. What they'll do, they'll bite your hand and like, oh, I thought I could talk to you about this. Da, da, da. And then you will say, at this point, empath, we clap back and we say, in a calm voice, stoic, because there's no reason to get bent out of shape, because they're bent out of shape, because we know what we're talking about. We're not trying to offend you, but they'll use all the word salad. They'll try to gaslight you, make you think that you're being rude, you're being hard on them, you're not caring, you're not understanding, you're selfish. But you'll calmly say, no, I'm not selfish, babe, but you bitch and whine about your job every day, ever since we've been together. And so they don't want to hear that, because you just ran it back. And this is when they sense that you're coming to your wit's end with them. And you're having these epiphanies like, wow, this is a repetitive onslaught of her, him. Always a problem. Never can have a good day at work. And so they bring work home. And this is what a narcissist does. They will use any and every excuse as being a problem because they don't have a conversation to have with you once they get home, like healthy human beings do. They can't exchange conversation in a harmonious way. They can't share and share alike. Share some of what happened during their day, and then have an ear for what you did for your day. They're self-centered. They have a one-track mind. And so going forward, guys, once you awaken, and you have been awakened for some time, it shouldn't take a whole lot for us to detect these type of things. I detect them from afar. I see this play out on a daily. And that's why I felt like I wanted to share this with you guys, because I know it's going to resonate with a lot of people. And if it does, man, comment down below. You can even write a paragraph. You can write a page. I love the long comments when people go in detail and tell me specifically what. And you know what? When you guys start writing this stuff in the comments, I got 2,000 subscribers, man. Let it run it. Let it rip. I love those stories because these stories, some of you guys have vivid memories. The clarity of your comments is so crystal clear. You can talk about this in a condensed form. A lot of times you guys, you may make, I don't know, 4 or 5 paragraphs, but in that 4 or 5 paragraphs, you guys are able to express in stark detail what this person did systematically. Now that you're awake and you're aware of what's going on, you can talk about this because it's like a movie you saw. And see, the narcissist didn't count on that. There's somebody now that has been drugged through the mud by a narcissist psychologically, because that's that they want to leave you psychologically dead. And a lot of times they want to see you gone physically. But to see you psychologically dead and out, and to go about their life skipping and hopping around, they want to happen upon you and check back in and see where you're at. See if what the damage they did to you has put you all the way down, short of beneath the ground. And so you see this stuff, man, and you say, man, this person had nothing to give to begin with. They were just all about themselves. And whatever it was about themselves was nothing to be even interested in. It's nothing a narcissist possesses that an empath is interested in. That being said, bless.